All right, let's head to Phoenix because Kevin Durant has not necessarily been enjoying this series. They are down 3-2. They played a tough game last night, but ultimately it ended in a blowout. Denver Nuggets won once again, ending that Suns' 2-game winning streak. It's been a fascinating series. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of highs, and a lot of lows. Shady, my thought is this, and I'll be very honest, I'll be very blunt. I always am when I speak of Kevin Durant. I believe that KD has let the Suns down. The reason I believe KD has let the Suns down is because, at least in the Suns' mind, he was supposed to hold them up. And if you're supposed to hold somebody up, you can let them down. I think they trade Mikal Bridges. They trade Cam Johnson. They did that because they thought in their minds, well, KD can single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, double-handedly, because Devin Booker is present, hold us up.
Right.
If not for those incredibly high, maybe unrealistically high expectations, he wouldn't be letting them down. But several people within that organization were led to believe that KD could hold them up. I don't think it's an inaccurate thought because when KD and Booker combine for 60-plus, they're undefeated.
Duh.
So KD knows the recipe. Booker knows the recipe. Combine for 60-plus, and you will win the games. I think KD has let them down because my final point, and this will hit your heart. KD is one of the best scorers in the history of basketball, correct?
Fair.
I would agree.
4 scoring titles.
Devin Booker is one of the best scorers of the generation. Maybe he's one of the best scorers of the last 5 years, but not one of the best scorers in the history of basketball. Nikola Jokic is a really good player, but he's not one of the best scorers in the history of basketball. That title belongs to Kevin Durant. So if that is the case, why have I seen the highest scoring games of 50-piece from Nikola Jokic? Why have I seen a 40-piece from Devin Booker? If you are one of the greatest scorers ever in history, not today, in history, then I need you to show it. That's why I think he's let them down.
He hasn't let them down. I mean, and you made a great point. I can't argue that. I can say that with 2 great scorers, obviously Booker's getting off more than Kevin Durant.
Yep.
Does that make him a better scorer than Kevin Durant? No. But right now, he's hot. You got to go with the hot hand. There's been plenty of times with superstars together. One guy's hot, the other guy's not as hot. You go with the hot hand. Yep. I think that's just better coaching. I think as a player, you're like, you know what? You take it, bro, because you hot right now. That's one thing. And the second thing, letting them down, how can you say let them down? Let's think about this for a second. The Suns were the 5th seed before Kevin Durant got there.
Yes, sir.
You know they're 14-4 since they got Kevin Durant. Bro, they winning games with Kevin Durant. Now, granted, this is a series with the number 1 seed, bro. The number 1 seed.
Yes, sir.
It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Each team has won at home. Each team has done what they're supposed to do. That's how when they drew this whole playoff thing, this playoff brackets, that's what they did. The home team should win, and that's what happened. Now, I think they win tonight, and Kevin Durant's going to be Kevin Durant. I only go for what I know, and what I know is Kevin Durant always delivers. Might be ugly, might not shoot efficiently, right? But he's going to get it done. I think the bigger picture is Game 7. We'll see what Booker and Kevin Durant do on the road against the home team, number 1 seed.
Very well said. Joy, do you think KD has let the Suns down?
No, I don't think he's let the Suns down because I also believe that this was a situation that required a bit more patience than we were willing to give. And maybe that's what it is. KD is an all-time great player, so we expect him to win a championship everywhere he goes, and that's fine because he's that good. Yeah. But they are 14-4.
14-4.
Not great at math, so that's not a lot of games that they've played together.
But that's winning games.
And that's still correct, but still pretty impressive. This is not a situation that's been in place since the beginning of the season.
Right.
And they're kind of struggling at this point. Also, when I think of Kevin Durant and his role with the Suns, I don't think of him primarily as a scorer, mainly because Devin Booker is there. Why would you take something away from someone that does something as good as Devin Booker does? Particularly when Kevin Durant can offer you value in the rest of the box score. He can offer you value defensively, which he's been doing. He can offer you value with rebounds, which he's been doing. He can offer you value in assists and blocks. So Kevin Durant is an all-around player. Not that Devin Booker doesn't have value on both ends of the court, but he does. But not to the level of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is an all-time great player both ends of the floor. So he has more value outside of just scoring, even though he is also an all-time great scorer. Yeah. So I can't sit here and say that Kevin Durant has let them down because he hasn't had a 55-point game. Let Devin Booker have the 55-point game and let Kevin Durant do what he does on both ends of the court. And he doesn't need to. When the two of them combine for 60-plus points, they win. So how has he let them down when they've been able to go to this far in the playoffs and they're going toe-to-toe with the best team in the conference?
Right. Here's why I would say the how. I've always suggested that what has Kevin Durant allowed teams or players to do that they couldn't have done themselves. When I think about the Sun squad, 2 years ago, they were in the NBA Finals. Last year, they were in the conference semis, and here they are again in the conference semis, down 3-2. I suggest that the Phoenix Suns likely would have beat the Los Angeles Clippers without Paul George and with Kawhi only playing one game. I suggest they would have beat this team as they were naturally constructed. I suggest if they go on to lose this series, they could have lost this series as they were naturally constructed at the start of the season. So as I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know what KD has done that the Suns wouldn't have naturally already done. The only other tension I have, Slick, in hearing Joy's thoughts is like, KD's an all-time great scorer. He's not an all-time great blocker, an all-time great defender, an all-time great rebounder, an all-time great passer. He's an all-time great scorer. So I want an all-time great to do what they're all-time great at. Score. At least score efficiently. Slick, where do you lie? What do you make? Has he let the Suns down? What are your thoughts?
I do not believe that he's let them down. And this whole conversation to me is a reflection of that we don't appreciate and respect the Denver Nuggets to the level that we should. Because this is a 34-year-old Kevin Durant with one quality player next to him in Devin Booker.
Why'd you mention his age?
Because I believe that at 34, in much the same way that I look at Steph Curry, do I think that Steph Curry is letting down the Golden State Warriors? Because while he has scored, has he scored efficiently? And has he done enough as a scorer for them to be in the driver's seat? No, they're down 3-1.
Do you mention his age, though? Because that age is irrelevant unless you're trying to qualify that he is no longer who he is.
You said it earlier in the show. I may not have been sitting here, but I was in the studio. And you suggested that he's not quite the same Kevin Durant. Did you not? I
did, but I was disagreed with, and I respected the disagreement. Do you think that he is no longer the same Kevin Durant?
I don't believe that they're expecting him to go for 50 or 60 and maybe in a game. But the idea that he's going to carry a team through a series or multiple series by himself against the #1 seeded Denver Nuggets, who have every single player in their starting lineup is in his prime. They are all lottery picks. Michael Porter Jr., we compare what the Nuggets did last year, right? And they got bounced by who? The eventual defending champions,
my boys.
Right? They got bounced. And we look at them and go, well, that's why we had low expectations for them and thought that the Suns were going to do something. But Michael Porter Jr. wasn't there last year. And he has not only come back, but he's come back and showed that he's a different player. Aaron Gordon was not there and is demonstrating, or he was there, and he wasn't anything close to what he was now.
Slick, is much
Jamal Murray wasn't there.
As great as everything is, as you're saying, and hopefully I have a couple more minutes here, as great as everything you're saying is, to me, that is all to some degree irrelevant if Kevin Durant was playing more efficiently. Like the Suns would have won the games.
That's the #1 team in the Western Conference with a back-to-back league MVP.
In his prime.
Correct.
27 years old.
So how good could Kevin Durant possibly be to just nullify all that? By the way, they defended home court, and the Nuggets won home court. Like, it's not like they're down 3-1. Like, the series has gone exactly as it's supposed to go to get to a Game 7.
Here's how good I would say. Do we have the full screen? We may have this full screen. How good I think he would be is as good as he was in the regular season. As efficient as he was in the regular season. Because for everything that's been brilliantly said about the Denver Nuggets, KD and Book just got to go for 60.
Like, who was he playing with during the regular season?
But this is
the Suns? The Sun squad.
How many games did they play during the regular season together?
KD was 8-0, I believe, with the Suns.
8 games?
8 games.
We're gauging this off of 8 games?
And the Suns, without Kevin Durant, this is a 500 team. That's it. That's what they are.
I'm also going to push back on the idea that 60 is the guarantee that they're going to win.
Statistically, it is.
I understand, but they were at 28 and 26 this last game, so it's a 6-point difference.
54,
was it a 6-point difference in the game?
No.
Or was it going away? And this is maybe the most. So this is what I'm going to underscore is I feel as if what's happening with Nikola Jokic right now is what we saw with Giannis 2 years ago. Nikola Jokic is stepping into everything that he can be, because we saw this, which we had never seen before. Not only doing what he does on the floor, but being a true leader of a team that has title hopes. And I had the same feeling when I saw this as when I saw in Game 2 when I saw Giannis talking to his group in a way that I had
What year
never
is this?
seen before. This is the championship year. This is game 2 in the finals. I was like, this is the completion of what I've expected to see. And the one element that we have never seen from Kevin Durant is that element right there. No, I'm just telling you.
Slick.
So the idea that he's going to gather a team and lead them, I think that's an expectation that's beyond what I would expect.
When we return from break.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.